and welcome to Williams Group 91.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, aviation enthusiasts and families watching along the magnificent seafront here at Roker and Seaburn. Welcome to the 2026 Sunderland International Airshow. I'm Ben Dunnell, and over the next hour we have an extraordinary lineup of military fast jets. Aerobatic perfection and rare historic tactical air power display items flying right off the North Sea coast. Listen closely to the horizon. Our opening display is inbound. Sweeping in low over the water from your right, open your ears to the sound of the Swedish-designed Czech-flown single-engine wonder, the JAS 39C Gripen, operating today from the 21st Tactical Air Base at Čáslav in the central Czech Republic. This aircraft belongs to the famed 211th Tactical Tiger Squadron. At the controls today is Captain Andrzej Szpanko, a veteran fighter pilot with over 500 flight hours. The Gripen, JAS, standing for Yacht, Attack, Ox Spanning, Fighter Attack and Reconnaissance, first entered Czech Air Force service in 2005, replacing aging Soviet-era MiG-21s. Equipped with a Delta Canard configuration and a single Volvo RM12 turbofan engine, watch Captain Szpanko pull the Gripen into a tight high Alpha 9G, turn right in front of the crowds. Look at the vapour sheeting across those Delta wings. Absolute precision flying from Čáslav.
Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning.
From modern Delta canards, we turn to a true icon of Cold War aviation history. Making its rare appearance over the North Sea is the Romanian Air Force MiG-21 Lancer C. Staging out of the 86 Airbase Borsia near Fetesti, this aircraft is piloted today by Lieutenant Colonel Radu Viper Popescu. The original MiG-21 fishbed design dates back to the Mikoyan Gurevich OKB Design Bureau in 1955. However, this Romanian Lance RC variant represents a massive joint modernization effort between Aerostar Bacău and Israel's Elbit Systems. Upgrading the aircraft with modern glass cockpits, dash, helmet-mounted sights and advanced air-to-air radar. Listen to the raw, unrefined sound of that Chemansky R-25 turbojet as Lieutenant Cole. Popescu pushes the throttle into full afterburner for a blistering low-level pass along the Sunderland pier. A stunning look at a legend before its final retirement.
Stall warning.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare your cameras for a truly extraordinary sight over English waters. Streaking across the waves is the massive heavy metal power of the Spanish Navy's EF-14D Tomcat, operating out of Roker Naval Base in Andalusia with the 9A Escadrilla 9th Squadron. This twin-engine, variable sweep wing fighter is brought to us today by Commander Carlos Matador Izquierdo. Originally manufactured by Grumman as the ultimate fleet defence fighter, the F-14 Tomcat served as the tip of the spear for naval air power. The upgraded D Super Tomcat model features powerful General Electric F-110 engines and digital avionics.
Caution.
Watch as Commander Izquierdo sweeps those variable geometry wings back to 68 degrees. He's setting up for a high-speed subsonic pass. There goes the sound barrier boundary. Feel that twin afterburner rumble right in your chest.
Stall warning.
High above the clouds, diving down from the north, comes the mountain-tested agility of the Swiss Air Force FCA A-18C Hornet. This display originates from Fliegerstaffel 11, the famous Tigers stationed at Meiringen Air Base, deep in the Swiss Alps. Where jets routinely operate out of caverns carved directly into granite mountainsides. Today's solo display pilot is Captain Yannick Fawkes Zanata. The McDonnell Douglas FCA-18 Hornet entered Swiss service in 1997 to secure the Alpine airspace. Known for incredible high angle of attack handling, Captain Zanata is pulling the nose up into a dirty pitch. Landing gear down, tailhook extended, holding the aircraft almost stationary in the sky.
Stall warning. Stall warning. Stall warning. Caution, pull up.
Look at the control authority as the General Electric F404 engines push the Hornet into a lightning-fast vertical climb.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. I'm Squadron Leader Mike Ling, and it is my absolute privilege to bring you the commentary for the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows! Look low and directly behind you. Sweeping over your heads at 350 knots is your Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team. They arrive in the wide Battle 7 formation, transitioning effortlessly into the I-20 iconic 7-arrow shape as Squadron Leader pulls the team vertically up into the sky for our opening loop. Flying tightly packed around Red 1 are Flight Lieutenant Rob Thomas at Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Andrew McEwen at Red 5, and backing them up on the outer edges is our Squadron Leader Chris McCann at Red 8 and Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wales at Red 9. Over the top at 5,000 feet, pulling to a force of gravity down the back of the loop and levelling out. Now sweeping in from the left hand side, displaying the classic silhouette that has represented the United Kingdom across the globe for over 6 decades. This is the 7-arrow present. But look at the wingtip spacing, folks. Just 6 feet separation, controlled purely by visual cues and subtle stick movements. Red 1 calls for a change of shape. As they pull up into vertical once again, watch how the aircraft slide rearward. The Delta nose opens up into the iconic supersonic shape of Concorde before expanding outward into the majestic Eagle loop. Red 2, Matt Brighty, and Red 3, Christopher Dean holding absolute rock-solid positions as the G-forces press them heavy into their ejection seats. Diving back down toward crowd centre, the formation morphs once again into a sleek, swept shape, a tribute to legendary high-altitude aviation. This is the Blackbird present. Smoke running red and white along the flanks. Now setting up from the right hand side, John Bond calls the roll. Watch the whole formation bank as a single rigid structure 70 feet off each other's wings. It's the big 7 roll. Smooth as silk, complete precision, inverted overhead and rolling back out flat to crowd centre. They aren't finished with the big 7 shape just yet. As they pull high into the blue, watch the outer pilots, McCann and Wales at reds 8 and 9, peel away and roll dynamic circles around the central core. These are the dynamic big 7 rollbacks. Smoke switches to pure white. The aircraft now enter a tight, fast sweeping axis. Red 1 initiates a spiralling manoeuvre, dragging the formation through a corkscrewing horizontal axis. This is the dynamic tornado manoeuvre! Ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of the big formation section. Now, the team splits into 2 groups to keep the action non-stop right in front of you. Watch carefully. Smoke on! And there is the 3-4 split. The main formation, known as Enid, breaks right, while our synchro pair breaks left. Introducing your synchro pair for 2026. Leading synchro at Red 6 is Flight Lieutenant George Hobday, and on his wing at Red 7 is Flight Lieutenant Ollie Suckling. They are banking hard, accelerating toward crowd centre at a closing speed of over 700 miles per hour. Keep your eyes dead centre. While synchro clears to the flanks, Enid re-enters from the left. Watch Red 4 and Red 5 begin a continuous rapid barrel roll directly around the flight path of Red 1, 2 and 3. A test of extreme spatial awareness. This is the twister. Look out to the left. Red, white and blue smoke is selected. Watch the aircraft that slide past one another in an S-curving, interwoven wave along the crowd line. This is the gorgeous, colourful serpent. Look high to the front centre. Enid approaches in a tight echelon formation. John Bond calls the count. 3, 2, 1. Break! 5BA Hawks. The firewalk jets burst outward like a fireworks display in the Enid. Vertical break! We are setting up for the final thrills. coming from opposite ends of the airfield, watch Synchro pair execute the high-speed lateral roll manoeuvre. The Sidewinder! Immediately as they cross, Enid swoops in behind them, gathering into a wide, sweeping wedge shape that rises over the horizon like a flock in flight. This is the Goose! Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the grand finale. All 9 aircraft reunite for the ultimate display of split-second timing. They pull high into the vertical, climbing thousands of feet straight up into the sun. Smoke switches to full red, white and blue. Ladies and gentlemen, as the aircraft reform to clear the airspace and prepare to land, that concludes the 2026 display sequence by the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team. Behind every hour flown by SQ and LDR John Bond and his team of pilots are over 100 dedicated support personnel, the engineers and technicians known as the Blues, led by Wing Commander Sasha Nash. If you enjoyed the display today, please visit our official circus tent on the airshow grounds. Follow the team on social media and support the Royal Air Force Benevolent Fund. On behalf of the Red Arrows, thank you for your support. Have a safe journey home and enjoy the rest of the airshow.
Emerging from the Red Arrow's smoke is a dark titan from Eastern Europe, the Slovakian historic Flight MiG-29 Fulcrum. Preserved and operated out of the Piešťany Aviation Museum airfield, this historic airframe is flown today by retired Slovak Air Force Major Peter Falcon Sabo. Designed by the Mikoyan Design Bureau in the late 1970s to counter Western fighters like the F-15 and F-16, the MiG-29 relies on pure mechanical airframe performance and thrust-to-weight superiority. Watch Major Sazabo pull the two Klimov RD-33 engines into reheat as he executes the famous tail slide, flying straight up, bringing the aircraft to a complete halt. and sliding backward toward the sea before pitching the nose down. Pure airframe mastery from the historic flight.
Caution. Pull up.
Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Making a triumphant return to the skies over Sunderland is the iconic double ugly, the Luftwaffe historic Flight F-4E Phantom II. Stationed with the heritage flight at Manching Air Base in Bavaria, this Cold War warrior is piloted by Oberstleutnant Thomas Guns Weber. First flown in 1958 by McDonnell Aircraft.
Stall warning. stall warning.
The Phantom II served the German Luftwaffe for over 4 decades as a multi-role fighter bomber. Listen to those two massive General Electric J79 turbojets roaring. Notice the distinct 12-degree outer wing dihedral and the downturned tailplanes. Oberstleutnant Weber brings the Phantom down low for a roaring banking pass. Leaving that classic, unmistakable trail of black exhaust smoke across the horizon. What an incredible piece of living history. Painted in a striking black, gold and silver livery featuring the Turkish crescent is, screaming over the water comes the Turkish Air Force SoloTurk display team, representing the 132nd Fleet Dagger, based at 3rd Main Jet Base Command in Konya, Turkey. Today's demonstration pilot is Major Murat Viper Bakıcı. The General Dynamics F-6C Fighting Falcon is a multi-role jet known for its frameless bubble canopy and side-mounted control stick. Major Bakıcı is putting on a master's class in extreme manoeuvring.
Caution. Pull up. Stall warning.
Look at this slow roll pass with full afterburner engaged. Released flares lighting up the North Sea sky. That is sheer performance and high G combat agility from SoloTurk. bring our flying programme to an explosive finale, look to your left. The multi-role backbone of Royal Air Force Air Defence. The Eurofighter Typhoon FGR-4! Based at RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire with 29 Squadron. Today's official RAF display pilot is Flight Lieutenant David Zag Triplow. Powered by two Eurojet EJT 200 engines, generating a staggering 40,000 pounds of thrust. The Typhoon is capable of Mach 2 speeds and instantaneous turn rates. Flight Lieutenant Triplow slams the throttles into full reheat. Feel the ground shake under your feet as he pulls 9G straight into a vertical climb. Disappearing into the upper atmosphere in seconds. He pitches back down, carving through the damp air and pulling massive clouds of condensation off the delta wings. A raw blistering display of modern British tactical air power to close the show. What an absolute spectacle here at the Sunderland International Airshow 2026. From the historic roar of the Phantom and MiG-21 to the unmatched precision of the Red Arrows and the terrifying power of the Typhoon,
Caution. Pull up. Caution.
today showcased the very best of global aviation. Thank you to all our display pilots, ground crews, Sunderland City Council, and most importantly, our wonderful crowd. I'm Ben Dunnell, wishing you a safe journey home. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for watching the video content. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment to my channel at Williams Group 91.